Shalom, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Rabbi E in 3D, filmed live from a cramped, crowded, constricted closet in my house. You'll say, Rabbi E, did Mrs. E put you in timeout? I'm not answering that. Did she banish you from getting in her way, as she and my daughter do an incredible job of getting our home ready for the upcoming holiday? Not going to answer that either. The truth is, this is for a pedagogical purpose. This is a closet in my house. It really is. It's not a screen. It's a closet. It's narrow, it's cramped, it's constricted. Wouldn't want to spend a few hours in here. Certainly wouldn't want to spend 210 years here. It's actually our Pesach closet. So it was full to the brim of things that now are being nicely arranged by Mrs. E and my daughter while I'm in timeout here. I mean, while I'm doing the 3D Rabbi E live. Why am I in here? Because the holiday of Pesach is called Zman Cherutenu, the time of our freedom. We know the Jewish people were lifted out miraculously from a cramped, constricted, narrow country called Mitzrayim back in the day, Egypt, Mitzrayim in Hebrew. But the word Mitzrayim actually comes from the Hebrew word that means a narrow, constricted place. Not exactly a closet, but something very limiting and enslaving. The very word Meitzar, a tight, narrow border. And of course, the experience of Passover night, of the Seder night, is supposed to be not just a retelling, but a reliving of the movement from slavery to freedom. That means two things. It means physical and it means spiritual, right? The Jewish people moved from physical enslavement in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, to physical freedom. They also, we see clearly in the Haggadah, moved from spiritual, or rather really the whole history of the Jewish people, from Abraham's ancestors who were idol worshippers to serving the one God. That's spiritual slavery to spiritual freedom. And it takes a lot of effort and imagination and energy to enter into that, each one of us, to that experience. We're part of the Jewish people, and an eternal people that goes back so far. It's an incredible night, Passover. So we're going to experience that freedom. But I got in the closet here, starting to sweat. Hope my wife will let me out, because it's it's not just each individual entering into the national history and experiences of the Jewish people, as important as that is. It's also personal and existential. Our deeper sages say that when it says you're obligated to see yourself as if you left Mitzrayim, and it says that in Haggadah, it can mean both the actual place that our people left, and we're a part of that people, and we went out when they went out because we're part of that people. But it also means each one of us, from our narrow, confined, constricted consciousness, our own private Mitzrayim, our own private hot closet that we're stuck in. Pesach, in other words, is an opportunity, a unique opportunity in the year to be lifted above and lifted out of that constricted space within us. Look, we're all enslaved in some way or another. It could be physically enslaved to our phones, to our devices, to our luxuries, to our comforts, to our spiritually enslaved, not fully feeling able much of the time, some of the time, to express our neshama, our soul, our Jewish soul, our connection to God, that big perspective. Life is hard. Of course it is. In fact, the Seder talks about the difficulty of life, moving from bitterness to the opposite. So Passover, though, is an opportunity. It's Zman Cherutenu, time of our freedom, each one of us, to somehow, in some way, be lifted above our narrowness, our smallness. That's my alarm. I'm going to stop in a second, but it's really true. There's a special energy on Passover night. Can't do it tonight. Can't do it any night in August. It's got to be Passover night, because you know this, you probably heard it, but maybe not. A Jewish holiday is not a commemoration. It's a spiritual, experiential reliving of an actual energy of liberation, meaning on Passover, the energy, so to speak, in the air is liberation and elevation for each one of us. If we could put on spiritual glasses, don't know where they sell them, Amazon's got to have them somewhere, we would see the same burst of illumination. This Passover night Seder night, as the Jewish people did as they were leaving Egypt. And indeed, it was brightly illuminated with the presence of Hashem when they went out of Egypt. Each one of us has the opportunity, an experience, a lot to think about, a lot to work on. Everyone wants to get out of the closet, get out of the constriction, get out of the narrowness, whatever's holding us back, our fears, our anxieties, our distractions, our temptations. Every one of us wants to connect more deeply to ourselves, to the rest of Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people, and ultimately to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. May you have a wonderful Passover that you and I together, I need it as much as anyone to remind myself to connect to the incredible, lofty history of our people, their experiences from darkness to light, from suffering to relief, from slavery, physical and spiritual, to the opposite. And also each one of us, hopefully, will be lifted above our fears, our smallness, our anxiety, and really be able to taste not just the matzah, which I happen to love, not everyone does, but taste cherus, freedom, spiritual freedom, a deeper, more meaningful, elevated connection to what's meaningful in ourselves and in the world. Have a wonderful Passover. Mrs. E, can I come out? Okay, well, I've said enough now. Chag Sameach. And yeah, and I think she'll give me letters here, so send me letters.